Welcome into High Fiber Sports. This episode, men's college basketball continues. We're talking Cinderella favorites, final four picks, and the last team standing. Kick your feet up. Let's get into it. All right, it's another edition of High Fiber Sports. Time to get your fiber in. I'm Doug. It's Brad McDonald. Matt Cobalt there. Hey, if it's your first time checking us out, first of all, welcome. We're glad you're here. And second of all, if you love the convo, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Check out the channel. Lots of videos on there that you can check out. Matt has just been machine gunning shorts, getting everybody ready for the big dance with all the conference tournaments. So if you're staring at your bracket out there and you need some inspiration, go check out those videos, all those shorts he's been putting out to recapping all the champions, and he'll get you squared away. Also done multiple episodes just like this, talking about Final Four sleepers, picking different things throughout the tournament, who we like, and go check those out as well, as we're just a couple of days away here from the tournament beginning. Boys, we've passed through the magnificent gateway of Selection Sunday. It's all set up. The brackets are out. If anybody's like me, we got multiple sitting here trying to figure out who's doing what. We're in all these pools. The money's flowing. We got wagers flying. So it's a good time, and we're ready to go here. So we're going to throw out some predictions this episode, and we're going to start with maybe one of the favorite topics that everybody can cheer for, and that is a good Cinderella story. Who we like to go win a couple of games that maybe they're not supposed to win, maybe a double-digit seed, maybe one of these outside of the major conferences, one of these teams that can sneak up on folks. And Matt, I'm going to start with you because I know you always got some little nuggets out there, some different things that you've looked up and educate the folks. So let's start with you. Who do you like for a sleeper now that the brackets are all solidified?
Yeah, I've got to give you two dingleberries here, Doug. Cinderella, it's what makes March magical, fellas. We've got to each throw out a Cinderella pick. At least five double-digit seeds have reached the second round in 17 consecutive tournaments and 35 out of 40. Also, a double-digit seed has made the Final Four in 4 of the last 9 tournaments. That's wild. Brad, you're looking over your bracket. You're looking at the double-digit seeds. Who do you think could possibly win a game, maybe even get to the Sweet 16?
Matt, because of the kind of change in the whole of college basketball recently, while we've taken dominance from the top, I think we've still kind of got a situation where the power conferences have a bulk of the talent, because not a lot of guys are staying at small universities for a while because those universities cannot pay them. So you still got a bunch of guys switching places, but it's not like it was before. So I'm not going as crazy as maybe some would. I'm going with South Florida.
Ooh.
All right. Averaging 87 points a game. So that's insane. Like, I don't think you want to go against them. If you're a bad defense, power conference, I'd be afraid of them. At the same time, I believe they're in Duke, Michigan State's bracket there. So it's like, and St. John's. So it's like they got a lot of hot and heavy guys within there. They averaged 9.2 steals a game. So they can turn you over. They can score a bunch of buckets. So that would be my team that I would be the most fearful of. There are different ones, whether it be like Akron, scoring a bunch of buckets. I think they only had 5 losses on the year. Again, a high-scoring offense. So maybe it's a product of the conference not being very defensive. I don't know. I just like South Florida. I like the numbers they put up. Again, it's against inferior competition, like all these Cinderellas that you're going to pick. That is just going to be my one. I think they're a 10 seed, 11 seed right now. So I like where they're at. And in the conference, like Duke, multiple injuries could be an issue. Um, Michigan State, great, whatever. But uh, I don't know. I don't really. The Big Ten seems to be kind of a mishmash. I'm not sure if Michigan is as dominant as they once looked at the beginning of the year. So meh. So that would be the team within the bracket that they're in that I would look at to maybe do some damage.
At South Florida, they are the 11 seed. They're going to be playing 6 seed Louisville, their first matchup, and that's going to be on Thursday. South Florida coming off that AAC championship, so looking good there. Wes Enos, the junior for them, leading scorer, 6 out of his last 7 games, guys, 20 plus points. So he's hitting his stride here as they enter the big dance. Let's go to Matt. Matt, what do you got over there, and what do you got to say about Brad's pick?
I like your Bulls of South Florida pick, Brad. I also had them upsetting Louisville in the first round. We don't know about Michael Brown Jr. for the Cardinals. Not sure about that
Exactly.
back injury. So I like that South Florida pick. They're really hot right now after winning the American. But also, you brought up how the NIL has changed the landscape, changing the Cinderella. Last year was the first tournament ever that we had no mid majors in the Sweet 16, all power conference teams. Okay, each the SEC, Big Ten, ACC, and Big 12 minimum 8 bids this season. My goodness, that's never happened. 4 conferences getting at least 8 bids, crazy. But Cinderellas, they make March magical. Like I said, you got to find a couple. They bust brackets. I was looking for a weaker, maybe 4-5 or a 3-6 combo for Cinderella to maybe win 2 games. Okay, because I want to find that mid major that can be in the second weekend. So I picked on Alabama and Texas Tech. We know about Alabama. They're missing their point guard, Aiden Holloway. Got caught with over 2 pounds of marijuana. Now it's 2026, fellas. It's 2026. You want to smoke, you want to do edibles, do whatever you want. But my goodness, the
Two
week leading up,
pounds?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The week
That's
leading
enough
up to
to
the
get you
tournament,
high for 2 years. That's the
that's
problem.
crazy. Can't be doing that right
Yeah.
now, Aiden
Yeah.
Holloway. So
Yeah.
Alabama, they're missing their point guard, second leading scorer, second leading assister. And then Texas Tech, like I said, we already know that they lost JT Toppin to an unfortunate ACL tear, reigning Big 12 player of the year. He was going to be a first team All American. And then also Christian Anderson. I really like this young point guard, third in the nation in assists. He tweaked his groin on that stupid LED floor that the Big 12 was using. He tweaked his groin. Supposed to be good to go, but he's not going to be 100%. So I picked on a 4 and 5 that might be a little weaker there. Brad, you set me up. The Zips of Akron. Okay. I'm going with Akron for my Cinderella. I feel like they've been flying under the radar all season. They've been in the MAC. Who else has been in the MAC? Miami, Ohio. They've been getting all the headlines, undefeated all season. No one's been talking about Akron. This is their 8th tournament appearance. 0-7 all time. Never won a game this season. Akron, they're 29-5 overall, 17-1 in the MAC. They got a 10-game win streak. They've lost 1 game since January 3rd. 1 loss since January 3rd. And the metrics, they don't mind this team, fellas. Ken Palm got Akron at 64. 54th in the net, 52nd strength of record, and 61st at Evan Mia. This is their 3rd straight tournament. They've been there. They're not going to be scared by the spotlight. Okay, they've been there. They're due for a W. I'm going to introduce you to Tavari Johnson. Brad, you brought up last week how Stephen Curry made his name in March. We always have guys that we never heard of make their names. If Akron goes on a run, it's going to be because of Tavari Johnson, a senior point guard, been there all 4 years. He's averaging 20 points, 5 assists. He's going to be the big dog to get him to win 1 or 2 games. Last Dingleberry. At least one 12 seed has defeated a 5 seed in 34 of 40 tournaments. This is my 12 seed this year, boys, the Akron Zips. I don't think they're going to only get their first NCAA tournament win, but I think they could get their second also. I put a Sweet 16 bet on the Zips plus 1,100.
Wow.
Let's go Akron.
Okay. All right. The Zips of Akron, they got that 12 seed going up against Texas Tech. That'll be Friday, and 29-5 for the Zips and the return of the Mac. And hey, you mentioned Tavari Johnson. They got 4 seniors averaging double-digit points in every game. Like you said, it's they've been there before. Amani Lyles, that senior, 15 points, 16 rebounds in the conference championship. So, yeah, they got some boys there. So the Akron Zips is going to be Matt's pick for, and not only that, he's picked them for the Sweet 16. I mean, that is a Cinderella.
You gotta get crazy on one of them. I hate to do it to my guy Evan, the biggest Red Raider fan I know. I hate to do it to him, but you got to get a little crazy come March. Let's go Zips.
I don't, Matt, honestly, that was my second. But I thought it was kind of a popular one. And not that mine wasn't, but it's really hard, as we spoke before, with the differences in NIL and whatever, to actually pick one of those lower level schools that could possibly do it. But I definitely think Akron wasn't getting as much love as they should, being that Miami of Ohio was, undefeated going through there. So, yeah, I think I'm actually not going to argue with you on this one. I think it's a good idea, and Tech being a shell of themselves at this point in time, I don't think it's maybe. I think just injury wise and lineup within the bracket wise, I don't think it's bad. You're not a dipshit for once.
All right, fellas, we got your Cinderella picks out of the way. Let's start going. We'll just go region by region here now that the brackets are set. We've talked about Final Four sleepers in a previous episode. Check that out, by the way, if you haven't. See what you think about that. But now that the brackets are set, now we're actually going to get into predictions for the Final Four. We're going to go, like I said, region by region. We'll kind of bounce back and forth here. And let's start with the East, where the Duke Blue Devils have snagged the number 1 seed there. And I want to go to Brad here first. Brad, coming out of the East, who do you think takes it with the Blue Devils? And we know how you feel about Duke based on previous conversations. So who do you got coming out of the East? And is it going to be the number 1 seed?
Yeah, you know that I hope Duke fucking falls and fails the whole way through. I mean, it's pretty clear about that, but I actually think they're going to. I really do. So they're missing Foster. He's got a broken foot. He's, at best, is going to return for the Final Four, from what I hear.
Nailed it.
Good toss.
Thank you.
So I think Duke is a little vulnerable at this point in time. They've got to go against Michigan State and by far the best 5 seed in St. John's, who got absolutely ripped off in seeding. Okay. They won the Big East regular season championship. They won the Big East tournament. UConn gets a 2 and they get a 5? I know UConn beat their ass a couple weeks ago, but they beat their ass in the Big East tournament. What are we doing here? And they beat them earlier in the regular season. This makes no goddamn sense for me. So, honestly, give me St. John's coming out of the Big East. I don't really believe in anyone outside of Duke in that region, and I don't think they're healthy enough. So give me Rick Pitino and St. John's coming out of the East.
Rick Pitino. Brad, you talked about Rick Pitino a couple episodes ago. You were on that wagon, and then what they did in the conference championship too. I mean, sheesh. So they're going to be playing Northern Iowa on Friday, and so one of the 3 Iowa teams to make it. Shout out State of Iowa.
What's up?
So Brad's taking the 5 seed, St. John's out of the East. Matt, let's go to you. Who do you got out of the East?
The East is a beast of a region, arguably the best region, fellas. 6 programs here have won multiple national championships. The head coaches here have combined for 7 national championships, and the schools themselves have combined for 32 national championships, the second most ever for a single region. You make it out of here, you freaking earned it. Like you said, Brad, the Duke, the injuries, I can't take him. Caleb Foster, he's done. His career's over. Patrick Ngumba, we might see him this weekend. I'm not sure he's going to be limited.
Not going to be full strength.
The injuries,
Yeah.
I can't do it with Duke. Okay, UConn, those puzzling Big East losses, Creighton, Marquette at the end of the season, can't do it with UConn. St. John's, I like the pick. Definitely grossly underseeded as a 5. 3 seed lines below UConn when you beat them twice? That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But it's the backcourt for me for St. John's that I can't get behind. The top 2 assisters on the team are their starting big men, Zuby and Dylan Mitchell. Okay, those are the top 2 assisters on the team. And also St. John's, they didn't beat a single NCAA tournament team in non-conference play. And we know how bad the Big East sucked. Okay, I can't do it with St. John's. I can't even do it with my Jayhawks, fellas. I got close to doing it. Darren Peterson, he's been playing. Darren Peterson's been playing, but he's losing efficiency. It's just the rhythm isn't there. I can't do it with my Jayhawks. So the last high-seeded team that I haven't mentioned in this region, I'm going the Spartans of Michigan State. Okay, Tom Izzo, top 3 coach in the game. Jeremy Fears, a top 3 point guard this year, led the nation in assists at 9.2 per game. I like the big men. Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper, those boys are thick. Cohen Carr, the best highlight in the game on the wing. My goodness, that boy can jump. Michigan State, they only got 1 game in the Big Ten Conference in Chicago. They lost to UCLA. They're pissed off. They're hungry. They want more. And like you said earlier, Brad, a couple weeks ago, Michigan State just might be due. Plus 750 to win this region. Give me Tom Izzo and the Spartans.
Michigan State, Tom Izzo, another team I believe Brad talked about a couple episodes ago as a Final Four sleeper. And Matt's going to take them coming out of the East. Now, Michigan State, they got good draw there. North Dakota State, obviously, first game coming up in a couple of days. So 16-point favorites there. Yeah, not too worried. But Tom Izzo and the Big Dance Boys, that's the way to go. So Michigan State, picked by Matt out of the East, and then Brad going with St. John's. Let's swing it around to the West region where the Arizona Wildcats, fresh off their Big 12 tourney championship, are the 1 seed. And then Purdue, the Boilermakers, just putting a little whooping on Michigan there in the Big 10 championship as the 2 seed. Pretty interesting region here, guys. Let's go back to Brad to start off with this one. Brad, who do you like in the West?
Honestly, I think this is the easiest region to pick. So Purdue started out the year number 1. Everyone thought they were great, whatever, but then they got their ass whooped multiple times throughout the year. So I don't yes, they beat Michigan in the Big Ten championship, but their body of work doesn't really sell it for me. Gonzaga, great. Mark Few, all-timer, way better than Rick Barnes. As far as the head coach goes in NCAA tournament play. Because the difference between him and Rick Barnes is he takes unheralded players and makes a good team out of them instead of blowing the shit out of teams that have the best players. So,
Poor Rick.
but at the same time, is like Gonzaga's gonna Gonzaga. They have a 3 seed, but they're not gonna make it that far. I just don't buy it, especially this year. But come on, Arizona they won the Big 12 regular season. They won the Big 12 tournament. They have 2 losses. They're the best team in the country, hands down, in my opinion. Okay. So I think they destroy the Zags in the Elite Eight and end up going to another Final Four. I hate to say it because I do not like them, but looking at who they're going against, like Purdue, Iowa State beat Purdue at home by 21 points. Okay? And so get that shit on my face. There's no fucking chance Purdue has against them. I think they were overseeded because they won the Big Ten tournament. I don't think they deserved that. So give me Arizona all day. This is the easiest region pick, in my opinion.
The Wildcats, not to trigger any PTSD, but obviously that big buzzer beater in the Big 12 championship. Against Iowa State, but to get to the championship. But yeah, the Wildcats, they're hot. Very good pick. Agreed. Purdue, I think that Big Ten championship did wonders for them, especially against Michigan. So we'll be interested to see how that all plays out. Matt, go to you for the West. Are you agreeing with Brad? Or are you going to turn the page here?
Arizona got a pretty good draw here, fellas. Purdue, they're red hot, obviously running through the Big Ten tournament, beating some big teams there. But they've been so inconsistent this year. Multiple home losses when we don't see home losses from Matt Painter and West Lafayette very often. Braden Smith, I got to give a shout out to him. I think he's 2 assists away from breaking the all-time assist record held by Bobby Hurley. Holy moly, that's not been talked about enough. Braden Smith about to be the all-time assist leader in Division I college basketball. Shout out to him.
Maybe he's the next Division I coach to get fired after 12 years of not doing anything. Just like Bobby Hurley.
Matt Painter, he's not in my top 15, just in case you were wondering. But Braden Smith, former Mr. Indiana, shout out to him. Gonzaga, like you said, Mark Few, very good. Freaking took that program from nothing, built it into this powerhouse in the WCC, about to go to the Pac-12 next year. I like Graham Ike a lot. Quietly putting up some pretty big numbers in the WCC. I know it's against weaker competition, but this dude's big, solid post player, transferred from Wyoming. But they don't have enough dudes. Gonzaga doesn't. Arkansas, I was on them last week. They won the SEC title. I love Darius Acuff Jr.
Who doesn't?
He's a Kemba candidate, okay? A Kemba Walker candidate to lead their team through freaking March.
I could say
possible Arkansas Arizona Sweet 16 matchup. Boy, oh boy, sign me up for that one. But I am going with you, Brad, here. The Wildcats of Arizona. I saw them 2 weeks ago out here in Colorado. Very, very strong team led by Tommy Lloyd. Give me the Wildcats of Arizona in the West region.
Boys agree. Arizona, the 1 seed there in the West, picking them to finish out of that region, go to the Final Four. Let's keep it going here to the South, boys, where the top 3 seeds is going to be Florida, Houston, Illinois, out of the Big Ten there. Interested to see. This is kind of I've seen a lot of toss-ups out of this region, so interested to see what you guys have to say. Brad, we'll go to you first. Who do you like out of the South?
Well, I was speaking Florida's praises all last week. I thought, but far and away the best team in the SEC. I thought they would dominate the tournament, but Vandy took them to the woodshed, dude. Like that. Yeah. I don't think the score was as close as the game was. They beat the shit out of them. It wasn't even close. That game was not a game. The whole game, that shit was over in the first half. And I don't think it's going to change. I got Vandy taking them out early.
Wow.
Yeah, I got Vandy taking them out. And Houston from the Big 12 coming through. Yeah, you're right. That's another Big 12 team going to the Final Four. But I think they're going to prove to the rest of the country that it's like our losses are better than your losses. I don't buy it. I think Todd Golden retreats to his Instagram DMs account to check out what freshmen he can chat with in his sorrows. I think he's done. I don't think they're as good as everyone thought they were before this, including myself. I got Houston taking out Vandy to go to the Final Four.
Brad taking Houston out of the Big 12. That's two straight Big 12 teams. Mitch and Brad, we've been talking about the Big 12 for a long time, so we'll see how he feels in the last region. But Houston going to get started on Thursday against 15-seeded Idaho. Houston, the 2 seed in that region there. Matt, how do you feel about Houston? You on the same page? You like Florida? What are we looking at here?
I like Houston a lot, boys. They just 20-pieced my Jayhawks in the Big 12 semis last week, so I like Houston a lot. I think here in the South Regional, we're going to end up with a national championship rematch from last season between the Gators and the Cougars, okay? If we forgot, in that national championship game that Florida won, Houston led this game by 12 points, and Florida only led by a total of 64 seconds of the game. Houston literally let this boy slip away. They want revenge. They're freaking hungry. This Elite Eight game between Houston and Florida would be in Houston. This would be a home court advantage for the Cougs. Give me Kelvin Sampson and Houston.
That's right.
The South.
Old ladies always get their way. Cougars, man.
All right, we agreed on 2 regions now. Houston picked by both the guys to finish in the Final Four. Last region here, boys, the Midwest. Michigan Wolverines just got upset by Purdue in the Big Ten championship. That's right. And my bracket messed up there. Michigan, the number 1 seed. So I'm interested to see who. This is Brad has some interest in this region, so curious to see who he's got potentially in one of the Final Four teams left in this tournament. Brad, who you got in the Midwest?
Come on. Come on.
You're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to do it.
Well, first of all, Alabama's second leading scorer, their point guard, is out for running a drug cartel, pretty much, because as we spoke before, over 2 pounds of weed, if that's personal use, you need a therapist because you're basically unconscious 24/7. All right, that's a lot of pot.
Wow.
That's 2 pounds of pot? Jesus Christ. All right, so he's gone, we assume. So I'm not buying, because Alabama would be like the one I might be a little bit worried about, maybe, because they can score. Okay, they can put up some points, but Iowa State is known for their defense, so I'm not really that worried about that. But then you got 3 seed Virginia. They got beaten in the ACC tournament by Duke's leftovers. Okay. They couldn't even beat what was left of Duke. Stop it. Stop it. In a dog shit conference, you lost to the Boozer Brothers by themselves. Assemble anyone around them. It was just the Boozer Brothers versus Virginia. As I spoke to before when I was talking about teams, they are 1-2 versus AP ranked teams all year. They played 3 AP ranked teams. That tells you how shit the ACC is and how they're not any goddamn good. So get that shit out of my face. I don't believe in Virginia. Alabama is going to be missing their point guard to prison. Sorry. All day, every day, Iowa State was leading the entire game against Arizona, 75% of the game, lost on a last-second shot. They were the better team that game. Their leading scorer got held to nothing, and their 6th man led them in scoring. Freak fucking shit. Whatever. Iowa State outplayed them that game. They lose it. Okay, I'll take it. But the way they were playing before that game, they had won the first 2 games in the best conference in basketball by 71 points in 2 games, folks. Okay? 35.5 points a game in the first 2 games in the Big 12 conference. Stop it. They are hot right now. Michigan No, they almost lost to an Aussie going nuts, hitting threes for a 2-minute period, and then they got their ass stomped by Vandy. So Iowa State beat, or not Vandy, sorry, Purdue. Same colors, so I got confused. Iowa
True,
State
yeah.
beat Purdue at home by 21 points. So I assume if it comes to Michigan, Iowa State, they win by, I don't know, 50? That's just what math says. Yeah. At least 40. I mean, yeah, right?
So, Brad's taking Iowa State.
It's just math, bro.
Yeah, totally makes sense. You have to
Yeah.
show me your work later.
Yeah.
So Iowa State coming out of the Midwest for Brad. Matt, let's go over to you. And by the way, I've seen a lot of mixed reviews from Cyclone fans. Some, I think we talked about this. Some people love it. Some people don't like it. Some people think it's a harder draw than others, but I think you told me that the second easy out of all the regions, the second easiest as far as top 4 seeds. So be interested to see how the Cyclones do there. And by the way, they're rolling. I mean, you throw out that Arizona game. That's just what a great shot to end
against the best team in the country, probably.
Yeah. So, and just rockets flying everywhere in that game. I mean, there was a few minute stretch there where nobody could miss. So, really anxious to see how Iowa State comes out in this region. Matt, what do you got in the Midwest?
I think this is a little bit of a weaker region with the 3, 4, and 5 seeds. I think only 2 teams can come out of here: Michigan, Iowa State. Like you said, Brad, Iowa State freaking on fire right now. According to Bart Torvik, the number 1 team in March. So they're on fire. Virginia, 3 seed. Yes, a solid record, but the ACC, get out of here. Alabama, Holloway, we'll see you later. Kicked off a campus, I heard. According to the reports, he had 2.1 pounds, 2.1 pounds of marijuana, and it has to be 2.2 to be considered trafficking.
I wonder if they lightened the load and gave it to one of the other teammates.
So you decide what you want there, but I don't think we're going to see him this weekend. My goodness. Texas Tech with JT Toppin out, Christian Anderson is going to be hampered a little bit. That's a week 5 seed. And yeah, I like my Vols of Tennessee at that 6 seed. They're a sneaky 6 seed. Couldn't make a run with Rick Barnes there and Nate Ament. But I got this coming down to Michigan, Iowa State. 2 awesome coaches. Great front court battle between these 2 teams. But I'm going to lean to the team that's been in the top 3 all season. The Wolverines of Michigan, baby. Yaxel Lendenborg, Morez Johnson, Adai Mara, that front court, just a little bit better than Iowa State's. LJ Kaysen, the torn ACL for the backup point guard from Michigan. I have seen the effect of that a little bit. The rhythm of Michigan hasn't been as smooth since that. It comes into play, but I still think Michigan is going to represent the Midwest region. They're pissed off after that loss to Purdue. They wanted that one. Dusty May and them boys, they're going to go to the Final Four.
He's dusty as fuck. Fuck that guy.
Wolverines of Michigan being taken by Matt. So Matt taking a couple 1 seeds to make the Final Four. Boys, everybody's wanting to know now. We got the Final Four set for each of you. What
Who 1 seeds?
Yeah. Woo.
Let's pick now. You got your Final Fours in your minds. Now we want to talk who's going to be the last team standing, who's going to be cutting down the nets. Brad, we're going to start with you now. So Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, St. John's, your Final Four. That would put Iowa State playing Arizona in a rematch in that Final Four matchup.
Please.
Please. 7 days a week. And then Houston would,
if not the best game of the year, second best game of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Houston be playing St. John's in that Final Four. Who do you got out of those 4 teams, not only winning those games, but winning the whole thing?
God.
Look, you think.
He's feeling it.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. All right. I get it. I'm I'm so homer on this shit all the time. I really am.
2 seed.
But realistically speaking, Matt just spoke to it. You spoke to it, Doug. How hot Iowa State is playing right now. The only team that could possibly take them down was Arizona, who is the best team in the country right now. So, third time around, because they played before that one. So that'd be the third game between the three of them. I believe in TJ Altsberger not to lose 3 games to the same team. Give me Iowa State beating Arizona in the semis. And then I got St. John's coming in there. And I think Rick Pitino overdoses on Blue Chews. And TJ Altsberger wins because of his arm curl repetitions.
A lot of
and also, the team's better. But just had to put that in there.
A lot of bias.
Brad's
a
got
lot of bias. Okay, well, I look behind your ass, dude.
Bias. I said bias.
Oh, bias. Oh, okay. I thought you said
Man
bias.
alive.
Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah. I was like,
whoa,
knock it off.
He's still
Because Iowa State, you know as well as I do, Iowa State is definitely a top 5 team in this country.
Jeez. Goodness
You know
gracious.
That. Well, hey, I'm on edge right now.
Yeah, I can tell. You got the wrong earphones in again or something. I don't know what's
done. What fucking Rick Pitino's done in his life, you know. If I was doing whatever Rick Pitino was, I'd jump through this goddamn screen.
Oh man, that hour and a half sound check did nothing for you before we started this show. Apparently, goodness, can't hear Matt anymore.
That was gonna come.
Deep breaths. Deep breaths. All right.
Yeah.
Man, Matt is a family to worry about. You just murdered him right here.
Well, I might too. I moved a lot. I don't know.
All right, Matt. Brad's got Iowa State winning the whole thing. You got your Final Four set as Arizona, Michigan, Michigan State, Houston. That's going to put Michigan State against Houston, Michigan State against Houston, Arizona against Michigan in the Final Four. Who do you have coming out of those games? And then, more importantly, who do you have cutting down the nets?
I don't mind the Iowa State pick, Brad. Good pick on your Cyclones. When your team's a 2 seed and playing as good as your boys are, you got to pick them. You can't sit back and watch them win it all and not have them in your bracket.
You can't not pick your team when it's at least a 2. I mean, like that's yeah, you're not a fan if you don't. Like your homer has to at least edge something. It's almost a 1 seed, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on.
I respect it. Yeah, like you said, Doug, I'm going 2 Big 10, two Big 12 teams. I'm a little surprised I had those, but 2 best conferences all season for sure. I ended up with Houston and Arizona in my final. Okay, Houston, they would be the first 2 seed to reach the title game since 2016. I think that's kind of surprising. A 2 seed hasn't reached the title game since 2016. Yeah. But I love Kelvin Sampson. He needs a national title. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Emmanuel Sharp, Milos Uzan, JoJo Tugler, they were all on that runner-up team last year. All upperclassmen, they return. They add Kingston Flemings, Chris Sinak Jr. Both of those guys, I mean, Fleming's going to be a top 5, 7 pick.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Sinak reaching top 10, top 12. Those are your NBA guys right here. They have the talent. They have the coaching. But I'm afraid that they don't have enough bodies, especially big bodies, to bang with Arizona in the paint. Arizona is going to be my national champion. Okay, they've been top 3 all season. Brad, you already said it. They won the Big 12 regular season for the first time. They won the Big 12 tournament title for the first time, sweeping the best conference in America. They check all the boxes for me. They've got the NBA talent. I think all 5 starters can play in the NBA, okay, led by Koa Pete. Braden Burries. Koa Pete's going to be top 10. Braden Burries is working his way into the lottery. They got the senior leadership in the backcourt. Brad, one of your favorite players, Big 12 Player of the Year, Jaden Bradley in the backcourt. They got the interior presence. With Arizona, they got multiple interior presences. Mo Krivas out of Lithuania, Tobi Awaka, one of the strongest guys in the nation off the bench. And they got the coach, Tommy Lloyd, waited all them years on Gonzaga's bench for his opportunity. He's finally got it. I got the Arizona Wildcats winning their second ever national championship.
You'd think a team with a player named Tugler would be able to finish.